Saraya just clapped back at fans, accusing her of begging for her WWE job back, and revealed she's starting training in January with Natalya at the Hart Dungeon. But is this the beginning of her comeback story, or just another false alarm that'll never happen? Welcome back to your home for explosive wrestling news. Former WWE and AEW star Saraya has been away from the ring for over a year after her contract with AEW expired in September 2025. She spent all of 2025 focusing on her podcast, her memoir, and rediscovering herself outside wrestling. But now she's finally opening up about her future, and the answer is surprising. She admitted she fell out of love with wrestling, took a break to find herself, and now the bug is back. She's planning to resume training in January 2026, possibly at the Hart Dungeon with Natalya, with the goal of being better than she was in NXT. But fans on Twitter have been roasting her for supposedly begging for a WWE return, and she's had enough of the accusations. Let's break down what she really said and what this means for her future. If you haven't subscribed to Alpha War Room yet, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because we're covering the biggest wrestling comebacks as they develop. During an interview with the Toronto Sun, Saraya addressed the elephant in the room. She said, "I will say, anytime I'm in an interview, I always get asked that. Every person that comes to my table, I always get asked that. But Twitter can be so harsh, because if I talk about it, they're like, 'You're begging for a job.' I'm like, no, people ask me, and I'm just answering the question. I'm not randomly going, 'Hey, bring me back.' No, I'm just getting a lot of love and people and a good reception from this, and people really just want me to come back. And I think that's incredible. And yeah, maybe one day. I don't know though." That's a fair point. Wrestling journalists and convention attendees constantly ask her about a WWE return, and when she answers honestly, fans twist her words into desperate pleas for employment. She's not showing up at WWE headquarters with a resume. She's responding to direct questions from interviewers who know WWE. Return speculation drives clicks and engagement. But here's where it gets interesting. Saraya revealed that she's rediscovered her passion for wrestling after falling out of love with it. She said, "You know, I've had a wonderful year to kind of dip my toe into the outside of wrestling world, and it's been so wonderful, and I have loved it and I have enjoyed it. But once you're a wrestler, you always miss it, and I am starting to get the bug for it again. Because I went through a stage where I kind of like fell out of love with it for a second, and I'm just like, I need to take a break from it." And that was the whole goal. She explained that her time away from wrestling was intentional. She needed to step back, breathe, and experience life beyond the ring. She launched her Rule Breakers podcast, published her memoir Hell in Boots, Clawing My Way Through 9 Lives, and worked on projects she never had time for during her wrestling career. But now that she's had that break, she's feeling the pull back to the ring. Saraya then dropped the bombshell. She's planning to start training in January 2026. She said, "I'm going to get into training in January and we'll see where that takes me. Because I feel like I do, if I was to ever come back. Not saying I am, but if I was to ever come back, I want to be at the top of my game, be wrestling better than I was wrestling back when I was in NXT. So that's my goal." And I've actually asked Natty a few times, like she wants me to go down to the dungeon and stuff in Florida. So I was like, absolutely. Training at the Hart Dungeon is a big deal. Natalya has offered to personally work with Saraya in the legendary training facility founded by Stu Hart, the same place that produced legends like Bret Hart, Owen Hart, and countless others. If Saraya commits to training there, she's serious about coming back at peak performance. She concluded by saying, "So I miss it. I love it. I think the percentage of me going back is a lot higher now, but we'll see where it goes. Who knows what will happen?" That's the most direct she's been about a wrestling return since leaving AEW. Her contract with AEW expired in September 2025, making her a free agent. She can sign anywhere, and WWE has already tried to re-sign her once before in 2022 when her first WWE contract expired. Saraya's last match was on AEW Dynamite in October 2024 against Jamie Hayter in a Saraya Rules match. She held the AEW Women's World Championship for 44 days in 2023 after winning it at All in London. Since then, she's been absent from wrestling entirely, focusing on life outside the business. Hit that like button, drop a comment on whether you think Saraya should return to WWE, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more breaking wrestling news.